Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Today I'm going to talk about unboxing, setup, and review of this Apeman H55 Trail Cam. So this cam is, one of the newer line where they're smaller. It's 1080p video, and then it's a 20 megapixel camera. And so I have a couple other trail cams I use out on my property to catch deer and turkeys and coyotes and whatever else is out there. But so this is the first time I've used this brand, and let's open it up. We'll see how easy it is to set up and then how well it works, and I'll even do a comparison when I'll probably strap them to the same tree and see how they compare, because the big thing with these trail cams is one is the trigger speed, and then the other one is, especially like at night vision, how blurry it is. So those are challenges for any camera. Obviously low light means the shutter has to be slower, which means it's if something's moving, it's blurry. So that's a critical test for these guys, is how clear they are at night. And then the other one is, like I said, is like the trigger speed. So if something's running by, it might only be in front of the camera for a second, and you need the camera to be quick enough to actually pick it up and start recording before the animal or person goes out of frame. So let's open it up and just see what all comes included in this guy. Hello. Alright. Oh, it's actually a pretty hefty user manual. Most times it's like one card. Alright, but this is what I love about these new guys, is how small they are. It's so compact. My old one is this ginormous thing. I think it has like C batteries in it, or D batteries maybe. These new guys have like AAA or AA batteries. Alright. Pop that guy open, and you can see you got an LED screen right in the middle. It's a 2-inch LED. You have your motion detection sensor, and then at the top, these are your infrared lights. So that's what lights up at night, so that you can see the object, or the night vision can see the objects. So next we have a strap that goes around the tree. It's pretty standard. And a couple more things here. Okay. So then we have a little mini USB to USB-A to connect. I never use the cables, I always pull out the SD card myself, but some people could use that. And then it also comes with a fixed mount that you would use, more permanent. So like, if you have a deer blind, or you have a trail that you really like to watch, or you're trying to capture something that happens in the same spot a lot, you might want to actually permanently install this somewhat, where you screw this to a 4x4 post, or the side of a building, or a tree, whatever it is, and then you can use this adapter here, which has a ball mount, so that gives you flexibility of how it's oriented. And then this screws into the base of the camera here. So that will give you, this, dropping nuts here. That will give you a consistent viewpoint versus strapping on the tree and always having it kind of shift every time you strap it on there. So that's how you can attach it. All right, so now on the bottom of it, it does have a plug for a 6-volt DC adapter. So if you did not want to use the AA batteries in here, you could power this from a bigger battery pack, or if you're lucky enough to have power wherever you're putting this, you could do a permanent power. So now to get the batteries, open this little flap up, and then the batteries slide in right there, and they're AA batteries on here. So looks like it's 8 of them, so they go 2 deep. This one is a full-size standard SD card, which I actually like, and the reason I like that, one is if you're on the field, you're pulling these out, the micros are a pain if you drop them in the leaves, let me tell you. But then the other reason is I have a bunch of these older full-size SD cards, like the 16 gig one that I don't have a use for. Most things don't take it. My cell phones, all that kind of stuff, don't take them. So I actually like it that it's the full size. You know, I think it makes more sense actually in a product like this. If it has the space, just use the full size one. But let me put some batteries in it, and then we'll go through the setup and what you can do with the options, as well as you know, anything else you can do with your phone. All right, so I just put the batteries in, and I'm gonna do the setup now. I actually already did it, and I had this camera off by accident. So let me turn it on and show you. You know, it has two modes, the test and the on. The test is for all the setup stuff, and when you first turn it on, it just asks for the date. So I set today's date and time, so it knew it, and then I'll show these different settings. So you can see at the top, the little LED screen, it has camera icon, and then it has beside it 20 M, and that means it's the highest resolution this can do, which is 20 megapixels. And then on the top right, it has the number of pictures left that it can take. So it still has 1400 pictures. I only had one picture on here, and this is a 16 gig SD card. And it says SD card is in, and then obviously it has temperature and date in the bottom. And it's certainly not 80 degrees in here, so that's a little bit warm. It's probably 74 or something in the house right now, but I'm holding it, so maybe that's adding a little temperature. But you can go to mode, and you can switch. Now you can see it's on video. So for video, it is 1080p, which is again the highest resolution. And then over there it tells you I have about 36 minutes of video that I can take on this SD card before it runs out. So if I go to menu, there are some settings, and this is the mode that it's in. So I have it in photo plus video. So this means it's going to detect the motion, it's going to take a picture or 3 pictures, because that's how I have it set up, and then it will start the video. So you know, the downside to that is if you're really keen on the video of the object, photo plus video delays when that video starts, because it's going to take the pictures first and then start the video. So if something were to run by really fast, it might just get pictures taken, and then by the time the video starts, it's already gone. So we'll leave it on photo plus video, and we'll see how it does. Then you can do the photo resolution. It has lots of different options, all the way down to I think 2 megapixels up to 20. I left it on 20. Photo series, this lets you pick how many pictures you want. If you just want 1, 2, or 3, I always like 3, because you never know which one's going to be the best. And then video resolution, again, you have a couple of different options here, all the way down to 640 by 480, which obviously is not very good. I'm not exactly sure why you'd want it, other than it saves storage, but just for a couple bucks, buy a bigger SD card. But video length, you can set how long you want it to be, from 5 seconds to 5 minutes. So I'm gonna leave it at 30 seconds. And then cycle storage, this lets you actually, it will delete the old files for you on your SD card automatically, which I like that option, because sometimes I forget to delete them or something, and it stops taking pictures. So this, I have it set to on, so it will delete the old ones. PIR interval, this is your motion detection. This is how often it will actually reset and detect the same object. So if an object stands there, you know, for 5 minutes, how many times is it going to trigger? And this is set to 30 seconds. Sensitivity, I have set to high. I'd rather pick up too much stuff than not enough. We'll see how that goes. Each one seems to be a little bit different in how sensitive they are, or how much they pick up leaves and other stuff. So I'm going to leave it at high. Target recording time, this lets you pick a time of day to record. So you say, hey, you know, I don't want to record midday, then you can set it to only record at night. Time lapse, obviously it just takes a set picture, and you can set how many seconds apart or how many minutes apart it takes that. Language is pretty obvious. Time and date, it's already set. My serial number, the temp of the unit, the beep sound, which is pretty loud and kind of annoying, but also oftentimes it's nice to know it, you pressed it. I will say these buttons, since they are the good old-fashioned button, it's very easy to tell when you press it. It's not like a touch screen. Okay, audio, I do want it on, so I have it left on. The stamp at the bottom of the screen, you can have it do time, date, and logo, which is the brand logo, or just time and date, and off. Alright, password, so you can set a password on so other people can't use this. You can format the memory card. I already did that before I put it in. Reset your settings, and then the version of the camera that I have. Okay, so that's all the settings, and then the next thing you can do here is go from test to on, and obviously it counts down, and that's going to tell you that, you know, it's going to get ready to trigger. So now it's off, and I'm just going to move it and just see if I can detect myself. Yes, I mean, it started recording pretty quickly. And I actually turned it off, I think. Yeah, so I turned it off when it was still recording and it saved it. So that's, you know, because it only did 18 seconds before I turned it off. So let's see if there's a picture. Yeah, these are the pictures that it took of me before it did the video. So obviously it works. Let's get it strapped up on a tree and see if it picks up any animals. Alright, so I have this new Apeman setup, as well as one of my other cameras. I have them around top of each other, pointing the same direction. I have some signs of deer right out here in front. You can see some good size trails. It's been raining a lot, so a lot of them are gone, but there's a lot of marks of deer, mainly because they're coming up over here to drink this water. So hopefully I'll catch some. We'll leave them here for a couple days and see how they do. Alright, so I had it outside for a couple days, and it actually captured something like 2,000 pictures. So the high setting was certainly too sensitive, even though it was kind of pointed at you know, a lot of barren ground with, you know, had some grass that was 2 feet tall, but they were probably 50 feet away. But even the trees, you know, hundreds of yards away, they would move in the background. So anyways, it ended up deleting some of my beginning ones because I had it on that cycle reset button. And the first day I put it out was when actually a little herd of deer came out, and they were coming up close to the camera. So I did not capture that with this one, but I had my other camera out there, the XTU Trail Cam, and that did capture it. So that one was also in the high setting, but it is a less sensitive, you know, sensor pickup. So this cam needs to be in medium setting from my experience, but the image quality I was actually unimpressed with. I was actually disappointed in, I'd even say, because these both supposedly have the same image quality, but they're not even comparable. For one, the Apeman is in a 4:3 format versus the more, I guess, modern 16:9 format for pictures. The video is in 16:9, and the video is reasonable as well. And I mean, what I'll say is this camera is like $50. So for 50 bucks, you know, I didn't expect a whole lot, and I guess from that standpoint, it does work. And it does pick up things. If you compare it side by side to a better camera, obviously it's subpar. You know, this camera doesn't have any of the wireless, you know, either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity that this XTU one does.
But as far as if you just want something that detects and takes a picture, you can tell what it is. Are you going to be able to see the fly on the deer? No, but you know, it will take that shot. So it's really kind of up to you to determine if you're going for the value play. You know, this obviously, like I said, it works, but it's not giving me a picture that I would say I'm proud to put up. You know, even on Facebook to say, hey, here's what my trail cam capture. So let me keep going through and show you a couple other comparisons here of the XTU trail cam that I have, and that one's about $100. So that one's still, you know, obviously these are both Chinese cameras, and so they're trying to go after the value market. You know, if you want to get one of the better cameras, you know, you're looking at $250 to $300, and you know, those I would not give any leeway on. But for these ones, obviously for 50 or $100, they get some passes, at least in my book, as far as flaws that I'm willing to accept.